Yeah, I hear ya.
No, you listen. You guys locked me out on the patio, and I politely tapped on the window.
Whoa, time out. With your gun.
Debatable.
The weekly hangover. This will probably hurt, but you'll be thirsty for more.
Hopefully the other part was recorded, but since it wasn't, dude, you guys, what's up? Episode 16. Kevin's back at it. We are back at it again. Last week we had Jordan and Kidder on it. Now we have Kevin back. Kevin, what's up, man?
What's going on? Happy to be back for the Sweet 16.
Man, Sweet 16. Remember like yesterday. That's not funny the second time around. So... For people that are just tuning in, we tried starting this podcast a couple minutes ago, and I did not have it recording, which I thought I did. So we were a couple minutes in, and I was like, I know. But dude, how was last week? How's it been for you, man? What's going on?
Been good. I will say again that Operation Be Less Fat is not going good. And I came home from an easy day of work and pigged out on Oreos and donuts for no reason. So I have to. I'm going in the wrong direction for my New Year's resolution.
Dude.
Other than that, I'm cruising.
Well, I actually have some good news for you to be less fat. I went to the gym today, so it's not about you. No, Ben and I went to the gym, probably only for like an hour, but did some cardio, some random push-ups, and I kicked the heavy bag, so back at it again, coming for the title, y'all.
Sounds like a pretty weak workout overall. I'm sorry I missed it.
It was, man. I wanted to get some donuts and cook out afterwards, but whatever, dude. But what'd you do last week, man, and what'd you do this weekend, bro?
So last week, well, Saturday, but this past week was the culmination of my wrestling season. So we had our city championship, which is a meet between the 3 city schools on Tuesday. Then Wednesday, we had a big meet with it was like an open invitational almost. Just anybody that wanted to come wrestle could come wrestle. So Tuesday was not good. We did not wrestle good. We ended up losing a couple key swing matches, and we came in dead last, which was a major bummer. It was crazy. Kids that had won against that same opponent ended up just slipping up and losing. And so we lost. We came in last by like 2 points. And there's only 3 teams, so I was just surprised that we came in last. That was a bummer. But then the next night, it was kind of funny. It didn't mean anything. We didn't even keep team scores. We just wrestled as many matches as we could. It was the best night of wrestling I had seen. So it was like really funny that we went from a terrible night Tuesday to an amazing night Wednesday. We wrestled so good, we lost track of time. And I accidentally had my bus driver waiting for over 2 hours because we just kept wrestling. We were like, no, let's just send him back again. And we had, I think everybody on my team wrestled 3 matches. It was wild. But the bus driver was ticked when it was like 9 o'clock. So
yeah, I'd be pretty pissed if I was that bus driver, but that's probably where I'll end up, is being a bus driver. Nothing against them.
Yeah. If you're listening out there to this bus driver, I'm really sorry I made you wait, but those kids wrestled their butts off, so it was a good match.
So what'd you guys end up with your overall record, like a little to a lot?
No, we were man, it's tough because for Wednesday, it would have been different if it was like a legit dual match instead of just throwing kids out and matching them up the best we could.
Yeah. So
if I'm not including that one, we were 2, 3, and 1. So we had 2 wins, 3 losses, and a tie on the season, which isn't, it was a short season. We had a bunch of snow days that messed us up, so it was all right. But on Saturday, we had our big district end of the season, the big local event, see who's the best in the area.
Yeah.
And I took 5 kids, and out of those 5, I came with 2 first places and 2 fourth places. So I was really happy about that. And one of those 5, he had only wrestled maybe 2 matches all season. So that, he was real still fresh. That I had 2 gold medalists right there.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, dude. That's better than nothing. Better to end on a solid win like that, I guess.
Yeah. And one of the matches specifically was like super beaming, almost like the big Rocky story where I was screaming and like clapping like crazy at the end of the match. My kid, my 160 pounder, he's really good, really strong kid, like crazy strong. He works out all the time. So he had been smoking everybody in the 160 division, except for every now and then these other kids would come out from like way far away just to our tournaments, and they were really good. They were studs, and so he lost to them, which was fine. But so
nice.
All of a sudden, one kid that he beat before, he's wrestling, and his dad's coaching him, and his dad is just screaming like crazy from the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
So his dad's coaching him, which is cool, and his dad was an actual coach for the team. But he was almost like degrading to my wrestler when he was coaching him. He's like, "Oh, he doesn't have anything. He's just got that lazy shot. Just watch out for that lazy shot." Just like things that were like kind of rude, that you don't need to be saying to be an effective coach.
Yeah.
And so I was like really turned off by it, had put a real bad taste in my mouth. And his kid ended up beating mine. But it was he very specifically strategized against my kid. Does that make sense? It wasn't like he just out wrestled him.
Yeah.
He was very specific to try to beat him, according to my kid's style, which is weird in youth wrestling, to be like trying to go for specific things based on style instead of just trying to be overall a good wrestler. So then the next week I practiced with him a lot. And just to like get him back up to speed and to get ready, for that kid. And then we beat him the next time we wrestled. Mm-hmm. So that was like really refreshing to say, all right, good, we got him back. Now we're up. Like we beat him more than he's beaten us, but we still got to be ready. So they were in the same bracket, and they ended up being the gold medal match. Was these two kids that were like, I think the record was 2-1 in my favor for my kid. We've beaten him twice, he's beaten us once.
Yeah.
But I was still nervous and the reason I was nervous, and I told my kid's dad this, I was like, since we won, they're going to go back and make adjustments and have like a new strategy. Yeah. And we don't have anything to plan for because, we beat him last time. So we can't really, we just know what worked for us. We don't know what he's going to do this time. And I know he's going to do something. And so I was a little nervous going into the gold medal match. Actually, I'm going to be honest, I was like really nervous. I was shaking. I was like, my kid needs to win. He's an 8th grader. I really want him to get the gold medal. He's worked so hard. He's such a good kid. So we have, the big announcement and the big, they run all the kids out and have them like cheered and they announce all their names. And so his match is 160, which is towards the end. So we get there. And so they start wrestling, and the first round goes, and nobody scores. It was really good. They're feeling each other out. They're going. They make it through the whole first period. So the second period comes, and and I know our followers aren't going to know how wrestling matches really work, but so basically you flip a coin to figure out who gets to choose where to start wrestling. You can either start on the ground or on your feet. So the kid chooses. So we win the coin toss, but we let him choose. It's like so we get the next pick.
Yep.
And so he chooses to go top, which is pretty weird. And then even weirder, he chooses to do like this different type of fancy start that you almost never do. So I was like, like what's coming? Yeah. And so sure enough, he goes for this one not a crazy move, but he's very clearly just trying to go for a quick win, like through pinning him, just like one big move, get our kid pinned and like win just like that, which to me was a compliment because it means he knew he couldn't out wrestle my kid. Like if he was going to beat him, he was going to essentially have to get this one move and get a little bit of luck and just throw him over and win in one shot.
Yeah.
And so my kid fought through his move and he ended up, we got up and we got a point and then we scored a takedown. And so we got another couple points. So we're winning pretty decisively. And so in the third period, we put our kid back down in the same spot and their kid tried that move again.
Yeah.
And then our kid just totally shrugged it off. He was totally ready for it. So we won. Awesome. We got the gold medal. It was awesome, man. I was like screaming like crazy. His dad was super pumped. He was super pumped. So it was a really good moment. It was a lot of fun. It was a good way to like wrap up the season. And then
That's cool. That's cool, man.
Yeah, my heavyweight also got gold, but he was like a level above pretty much all the local competition, so he didn't have as dramatic as a match, but it was still a good day.
That's cool, man. That's definitely a good way to end the season for sure.
Yeah, it was good. I was glad to take away a couple gold medals for the kids, and they have something now that they're the best in their weight class in the Central Virginia Youth Wrestling Association.
That's awesome, man. Are you going to do wrestling again next year, you think?
Yeah, if I'm still at Dunbar, I will. Hopefully I won't be teaching anymore, but if I'm still teaching, I'll still coach, so we'll see.
Bro, I need to tell you something. You're going to be teaching at that school for the rest of your life.
Oh, no.
But
I know.
Besides wrestling, man, how's everything going? How's Liz? How's the baby?
Liz is good. The baby is good, except she's getting big, so she's keeping Liz uncomfortable, and she's keeping Liz awake at night, and that's making it tough for her. But other than that, she's good. We picked up a crib. We bought our crib. It's still in the box. I haven't put it together yet. And then we picked up the dresser. Yeah, it'll be there till the baby comes, I'm quite certain. And yeah. So, but yeah, it's going good. My dad was in town, so I got to see my dad on Friday night, which was fun.
Why was he in town?
His oldest stepbrother passed away. So him and two of his brothers decided to come down for the funeral in Williamsburg, and so they stopped in Lynchburg for the night. So we got to hang out with them, which was a lot of fun.
You didn't get to see your mom though, just your dad?
No, yeah, only my dad came down. My mom didn't make the trip, so
It's cool you get to see your dad even though under that crappy situation.
yeah, it was it was sad. It was I guess my step uncle. I barely knew him, so it wasn't too emotional, but it was fun. Whenever my dad and his brothers get together, they start swapping their old growing up stories, which are just so funny. So that was always fun. It was fun getting to hear some stories get thrown around, some new ones I hadn't heard before. That was great.
That's cool, man. So besides wrestling this weekend and seeing your dad and all, what anything else been going on?
No, that was it. Saturday's wrestling tournament beat me up so bad. I told Alyssa, I was like, I'm not doing anything tomorrow. And we did it all day Sunday. Me and her just hung out at the house. It was amazing. It was so nice. We just chilled and relaxed and took a nap, and that was it. It was great.
Man, that does sound awesome, dude.
Yeah, it was much needed after the whole long season, so it was good.
Your weekend sounds... Well, my weekend was great. Thanks for asking. But
I was about to, but you didn't give me a segue, you terrible host.
Oh, well, hey, man. Yeah, let me tell you about my weekend. So anyone that doesn't know, I went out to Charlotte this weekend with my buddy Tommy. He's Jordan's brother-in-law. We went out to Charlotte for a UFC fight in Charlotte. It was freaking incredible. It wasn't a huge pay-per-view, but it was so fun. And we had some nosebleed seats, because they were mad expensive, but it was such a good time, dude. We stayed out at Jacob Brinkley's house with him and his wife and his two kids and newborn baby daughter. And, dude, it was such a good time,
three
man.
kids.
Yeah, 2 kids and a baby daughter, so 2.5. Dude, it was such a good weekend until Sunday. But let me get into that real quick. So the fights were incredible. There was a couple of really dragged, boring fights, and then the main event was Jacare Souza and Derek Brunson. The second time they fought, and it was. Did you see the highlights, by any chance?
No, I didn't.
Dude, it ended in one round. It was a head kick TKO. And
nice.
The guy, Derek Brunson, was from North Carolina, so everyone was like, boo. But it was so cool. It was such a blast. And then we stayed the night again in Charlotte and then woke up and, got some food and left. And then Tommy and I were driving back. We were probably 30 miles out. It was lightly spritzing. I thought my car was hydroplaning, and I was like, this is weird. Well, we were actually FaceTiming with Jordan and Kidder. And, Tommy was holding it, and we were like, oh, yeah, how's it going, blah, blah, blah. And then I thought it was hydroplane. I was like, hey, we got to go. So we ended the phone, and it was just fishtailing, a lot. And I'm going, 70 miles an hour at a time. But I'm really calm at this time. It was fishtailing, and then I heard a wah, 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 So I assumed flat tire, right? No dice. I pulled over, and then Tommy jumped out, and I was like, is it a flat tire? And he's like, no. I was like, yeah, right. I was like, all right, Tommy, get back in the car. I'll go check. So I got back in the car, or he got back in the car, and I looked, and I was like, what the heck? But then there was smoke coming from the center bearing, in the center of it. I don't know how to explain it. So I jacked up the car, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna take off the wheel, and I'm gonna figure out what's going on. I know very little about cars, but I was gonna try to figure it out. No dice. So I jacked up the car, and I took off 2 of the lug nuts. And then the tire just went whomp and fell off. I was like, well, that's not good. So the tire or the drum that it was attached to, the whole thing just came off.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, dude, it was very, very bad. So I still don't exactly know what's wrong with it. I got it towed back home. We were only 30 miles out, so
dang.
Yeah, but literally, if I would have driven any further, it would have been grinding, and I could have slammed and tried. It was such a bad thing, but it was such a bad thing that happened too. It was such a good weekend, man. I'm so upset.
That's So was it your wheel hub? Is that what went bad?
I honestly, I don't know. There's a lady at my work. She said one of her friends is like a super big mechanic. She's like, yeah, I'll have him come out and look at it. I showed Jay a photo, the one that I put on Facebook. You saw that one, right?
Yeah, with the baseball glove.
I use that for a knee pad, but Jay said he thinks it's one of the bearings, and he sent me a video, and he says it looks like an easy fix, but the video, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna do it. But anyways,
I had to do both wheel bearings on the truck. I didn't do it. I took it into the shop. It's like a $400 thing, but I didn't think it's $400 on one. And usually they say if one goes, both of them go. Like both sides go at about the same time. So I did mine one at a time. It was $400 a pop. And it took them a while. So I don't know. Maybe, hopefully it is something you can do yourself, but I assumed I wasn't going to be able to do it. And generally I'm willing to try stuff, but this one I thought it was going to be out of my league. So hopefully maybe it'll be cheaper because your car's, tiny, light, small, feminine, junk.
Dude, that sounds like a nightmare. $400, man.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Your car's worth like what? $850.
Probably not even that. I bought it for like $1,100 or $1,300, man.
I meant $8.50.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Dude, it was such a nightmare there, dude. Like I was supposed to get home at 2:30. I didn't get home until like 5:30 or 6. I mean, yeah, I'm glad that I'm safe. Whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But
that is a nightmare, man. How'd you drop your car off just at your house?
Yeah, the tow truck dropped me back off at the house, but Brittany actually came to help me out with AAA. Really cool. So shout out to what up, Brittany? I was gonna say her last name, but I held back. Yeah. So shout out to Brittany. But
how'd you end up getting to work?
Dude, Jordan came and picked me up this morning, and
nice.
Yeah, and then this girl that I've probably talked to 3 times at work, she was like, yeah, like I asked for people on my team, and this girl that I've probably said hi to twice, 2 or 3 times, she was like, yeah, I'll give you a ride home. I was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, that is too funny. I actually had to give Summers a ride home today because
he lives far from you, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's 30 minutes away, but he's also in the direct opposite direction of school. But it wasn't a big deal. I don't mind. So I don't know if you guys have gotten as much rain as we have, but we have just been getting slammed with rain. Do you remember his driveway, how it makes that circle?
Yes.
For some reason, the way he parks, he has to back up to like go out to work in the morning. Mm-hmm. And so when he backs up a little bit off of the gravel and onto his grass. But because we had so much rain and his car is rear-wheel drive, he drives a Charger, I think. So he just starts sliding in the mud. And I guess his first instinct was just to gun it, which made it like dig in more. And I don't know. I guess it just kept getting worse and worse as he tried to fix it. So I drove him home 15 feet away from his fence. It was just a mud slop like pit out there. God, I have no chance of getting this thing out. And so our coworker, who's got like a bigger truck than mine, came and was able to tow him out, which was good. But his yard was all sorts of, I mean, it was like probably 3 or 4 inches deep into his yard. Like his tires were like sunk in there. It was crazy. It's so bad.
Do you remember when, I know you weren't with me, but do you remember when I got my truck stuck when I was trying to take a pee on the side of the road? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So real quick. So I was leaving Corey's house in Virginia Beach, and I was going back to Lynchburg, and I pulled over on the side of the road because I think it's a 4-hour drive, right?
Yeah.
I pulled over on the side of the road like an hour away. I think I was in Disputana. I don't know, some random crap town. And I pulled over on the side of the road and I had to take a pee. So I did the business, and then I got back in the truck and I turned the wheel, and my truck just started sliding. I was like, all right, I'm gonna calm down. I'm gonna drop it in a lower gear. And it was a rear wheel drive Ford Ranger. So I dropped it in a lower gear, and then I started sliding like further into the ditch. And I was like, all right, I'm going to be fine. I was like, I'm just going to drive straight and I'm going to get out. And then I was going at it like an X, like towards further into the mud, dude, it was freaking a nightmare. It was awful. And then when I was fully into the mud, I was like, all right, I'm going to get out. I know I'm going to do this. So I used everything that I could to try to get out. I took off my tailgate and put it underneath the tire because it was a nightmare, bro.
That's creative, man. Didn't work, but it's creative.
Yeah, needless to say, I did not get out by myself. I had this guy come to tow me out, and his chain snapped. And then he's like, "All right, yeah, I'm gonna go get one of my friends." I was like, "All right, well, see you later, man." Like, I didn't think he was coming back. And then I finally had to get it towed out, dude. Just to get out of the mud was $175, man.
Dang, that's expensive.
That was a freaking nightmare, but didn't have to pay anything for AAA yesterday, so, that was awesome. But I need to get rid of this freaking car, man. It's a death trap. Dude, this car is literally trying to die, and it's trying to kill me in it. This car's a savage, man.
Yeah. It's a lot tougher than you are.
I know, dude. I'm getting soft with old age, bro.
Hey, man, I got a minivan I can sell you for a cool $6,000.
A minivan? You don't have a minivan?
I do.
What?
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
What are you talking about? Finish your sentence.
Alyssa's parents they got a new car, so they have that minivan just hanging out. And I was like, maybe I'll get a minivan.
Dude, why don't you use a minivan? You're gonna have a kid. You're gonna have more kids. That's the most practical thing.
I don't see myself ever driving a minivan, but you never know. We'll see. Maybe I will be that type of person.
Dude,
I prefer to be an SUV type of guy.
You're not tough. You're not outdoorsy. You don't use your freaking truck. You use your truck once in a while. You're like, oh, I'm gonna throw some stuff back. I'm gonna throw my camping gear. No. Oh, dude. Hey, do you want to go camping this weekend?
I'm game, baby. I'm down.
Dude, I'm for sure 100%. Let's try to do this. I didn't even think of this. That's not even in my notes. I know everyone that is listening to this, the whole couple hundred people, but I have notes and they're not on it. Dude, let's do you want to try to go Saturday morning, or what do you want to do?
I don't know. Alyssa's got a baby shower in Lynchburg.
Okay. Here's the stories coming. Here we go.
Eric is stay with us this weekend, so I don't think I can go.
What? You just said you were down to go.
Yeah, I know. I forgot that was this weekend. I thought I was just free.
Why?
Dude, don't put this on me. Remember, I invited you first last podcast, and you never made do on that. So,
dude, I don't remember that. Doesn't sound. Yeah, no, that's my fault. I don't know. I guess we'll just get it another time. Dude, your baby's coming in March. We have to get it done before then, man.
Dude, I agree. I know. That's like my last camping trip for a long freaking time.
Speaking of lists, I told you earlier today, but the last episode the episode that you and I and Alyssa did was the second most popular episode so far.
Yeah, what's the most?
Braden and myself.
Nice. Once I told that to Alyssa, she got excited and actually went and listened to the whole thing. So now we got one more review on it.
Well, I texted her earlier today and I told her that, and she was pretty pumped about it. I think that Braden and I got a lot more views because him and I have a lot of different friends. Like, he lives in San Francisco. I live in California. I mean, where do I live now? Virginia, Richmond. I'm all over the place. But no, from last week to this week, it was like a significant change. But I told Liz, and she seemed pumped about it. Hopefully she will listen to the whole thing. Oh,
yeah, she did. She said she was proud of herself, how good she did.
I'm proud of her too, dude. She did amazing. So
she did.
So speaking of numbers, I didn't tell you. You and I talked a little bit about it, but you're a numbers guy, right? You would think that solid numbers on anything mean great stuff, right?
I can count, if that qualifies me as a numbers guy.
All right. So, you're a practical guy, and you went to school for your master's for marketing, which you recently graduated in, correct?
That is correct.
Awesome. So, remember I told you about the lady that wanted to book us for a live show?
Yes.
All right, cool. So she reached out to me and she told me all this information. So hear me out.
I'm listening.
All right. So you, a marketing expert, you could say, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So this podcast, I would say, is growing. and as you can tell, it's growing. But we have limited marketing because you and I have the same friends. You know, it's only going by word of mouth and Facebook and some of the other social sites. But people do live shows that are not just comedians. People do live podcasts, history shows. There was a guy that has an economics show that he literally just does it on stage. So, dude, why are you not 100% on board with this? Let's talk about this right now.
All right. I would first say I'm surprised. I would be surprised if anybody did a live show or a live podcast that was historical in its nature and not with some sort of like comedy twist. And same is true for the economics. So I'm going to look those up and I'm going to listen to those and see how they are first. My second issue is that I feel like most people that podcast to build up something else. So like if you look at most podcasts out there, they are maybe comedians that use the podcast to increase their following. So that way, when they do a show, they can sell more tickets to that show, not the other way around.
Well, all right. In order to make this grow, don't you think it would be great to get more exposure and make money at the same time?
Exposure would be good, but I don't think if we got up there and on stage just bullcrapped about our week that anybody's going to want to listen to it like any more than they already would have. My picturing of what would happen is that 15 minutes into it, no, not even booing. I think they're just going to get up and storm out and demand their money back. I don't know. I'd be like, I hear better crap at the water cooler at work, you know, like.
But see, what you just told me, see, that's funny. People are going to laugh at it. I'm glad you're almost on board. We'll get you there one day. But so the lady, she reached out to me a couple times. We've talked back and forth, and she promotes and does for concerts and shows. And I told her, I was like, all we do is a podcast. And she's like, we do it for normal clubs like rock, country. She's like, we have Christian clubs, all types. She's like, they have 4 different pay scales. She's like, for every amount of people that come here, you'd get this. For 100 or more people that just come in general is 500 plus guaranteed. And I was like, so that's cool. But
paid. I said, I am all about getting paid.
All right. Obviously. So how
about this? You do a live podcast. I will be in attendance, totally supportive. I'll be like the plant. You know how when there's a sales presentation, there's usually a plant that like asks easy questions. I'll be the plant. I'll laugh my tail off. I'll clap. I'll give you a standing ovation.
Laugh, mother, laugh.
Yeah. And if it goes well, maybe I'll sign up and join you up there for another one.
All right, let's talk about this real quick. What's good in life? More money or less money?
More money.
All right, cool. I'm glad you're on board. See, your attraction for this is growing. So we'll talk about it at another time. So I think this would be great for the podcast. You're not going to believe this, but I already have how I think it would go written out. I'm not joking.
I'm impressed. I am impressed.
Right. If I send you, it's not a script, but it's how I imagine it would go. Dude, if you and I got up on stage and told half of our stories of fights, bachelor parties, going out hunting, dude, I think it would be incredible. We've told like these random stories over 16 podcasts, and I think people are starting to grow, man. You need to get on board, man.
I know. I don't want to be a weight that is holding you down, but I also don't want to get booed off of stage.
Dude, your wife boos you all the time, man.
That's true. I get booed as a teacher, as a coach, as a husband. I should be used to it.
Well, let's talk about that at a later time. She actually reached out to me again today, and I told her that we still had to talk about it. I mean, we're not losing anything if I just tell her no, but I think we should at least still think about it. So I'm going to let you marinate on that a little bit.
I know. My fear is that I quote, just plan a trip to Richmond, and then you're like, oh, yeah, man, let's go hang out. We're going to go play some pool at this local little place. And then all of a sudden we get there and, oh, yeah, by the way, we're going on stage in 5 minutes. in the back of my head.
Yeah, you're gonna see like part of your family and friends and Jordan, everyone in the crowd. You're like, oh, this is a trap.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be like, hey man, if you need to go to the bathroom, go back there, and then like I'm gonna like push you on stage like behind a curtain and stuff.
What else you got going on for this upcoming week? Just work or anything else?
Well, just work.
Anything exciting?
Trying to find ways to get to work. Like my supervisor's coming to pick me up tomorrow morning. So
How many miles away are you again?
I'm only 4 miles away, but it's uphill.
Get a bike.
Well, all right. So
Wait.
the last time I had a bike in Richmond, my lock got cut and my bike got jacked. I'm not very
That's
excited.
gangster.
Dude, now would be a good time to get my moped again. The last time I was in Richmond, I had a moped. Oh, dude, this
The
just...
moped.
Oh, dude, I may go start looking tonight, dude. That just changed my day.
Yeah, team moped.
Oh man, dude, I know you never saw me when I had my moped, dude, but it was so much fun. It was literally, I was like jumping off curbs. I was in the middle of traffic, dude. I did not give a crap. It was so much fun, bro.
Oh, that'd be awesome. You're just a moped type of guy, man. That's for sure.
I'm a person of the people, dude. I get around I get around my people. I'm in Richmond. I'm from Richmond, bro. Yeah, this week, nothing much going on. I'm going to try to hit the gym more. I'm going to try to record with Ben. He's not on board with it. He loved doing it, and we actually got a lot of viewers that time. He doesn't like the idea of he doesn't think of things that quickly on his feet. Neither do I. That's why some of my conversations are kind of dull. Yeah, so just this week, so I guess we're not going camping, so we'll plan that for the future, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, you should still come into town, though.
How am I going to get there?
Know.
How am I going to get there?
Try to go fish or something. Oh, yeah, that's right. Take the moped.
Dude, that would take forever. But actually, when Corey and I were talking, like when we were living in Portsmouth together, I was like, man, I'm going to get a moped and I'm going to drive it down to Nack's Head. And he's like, yeah, I mean, go ahead. It sounded like a good idea at the time, but definitely not.
Nice.
But this weekend, I don't know, probably hang out. On Wednesday, I'm going to go see a movie with Tommy called Den of Thieves. Have you heard of it?
I have not
It's
heard
with
of it.
Gerard Butler and a couple other people that are like stealing money,
Sounds good.
Yeah. That's how I want to live my life. I want to have more money. More money instead of less money, Kev.
Yeah, that's right.
But what about you? What do you got this upcoming weekend?
So, just Alyssa's got a baby shower. Tomorrow, I need to try to go catch a fish after work because I've caught a fish every month for the past 28 or so months. Over the past 2 years, I've caught at least one fish a month. But January 2018, I'm slacking. I don't have anything yet. And so tomorrow is pretty much going to be my last shot. So I'm going to try to do that. Yeah, Alyssa's got a baby shower this weekend. So I'll just be hanging out and chilling. And that's going to be that.
That sounds fun, man. It sounds so much better than camping.
Well, I'd love to camp if you could get here. But unfortunately, a car needs 4 wheels, not 3.
Dude, I will get there. If I need to, I take a freaking... Well, nah, never mind. Well, I'll see you in the old retirement homes. All right, man. You got anything else you want to say?
Nope. I do want I would love our listeners to continue to leave a review, seek us out on the social media, and let us know they're listening. And yeah, that's all I got.
That's awesome, man. It has been another fun, good time with Ben and Kevin Filiberto. All right, you guys. This has been another episode of The Weekly Hangover. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.